Kucch was released in 2003 and was directed by Anurag Basu. And in this movie, a group of friends reunite years after they killed their teacher and find out that they're being picked off one by one. Guys, it is Halloween season. It is my favorite holiday of the entire year. I'm so happy that it's finally come. And not to mention, it's starting to get cold in my area, so it makes it even better. Now, how I decide to celebrate Halloween? Oh, just by torturing myself by watching bad horror movies. So you just heard the plot, and if it sounds familiar to you, well, it should. You know why? Because this is Bollywood's version of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Why they decided to choose this movie, I'll never know, but they decided to go for it, and man, did they go for it. Let me start off by saying we already know what kind of movie we're gonna get just by the first scene alone with the mailman. What kind of mailman does that? Like, no response, just like, and then just walks away. Like, if my mailman came up to me and gave me mail like that, I would immediately report him on the spot. Okay, so let's talk about what I like about this movie. Okay, even though this movie is way too long, the songs are actually really good. If the songs were bad, it would make this movie even worse than it already is. But the songs are actually really good. One of the songs I like is Ding Dong Ding Dole. And I'm not kidding. That is the actual title of an actual song. And don't let the title, scare you away. It's actually a really good song. It's an all-time great song on my list. However, the choreography is a little too much for me. It's just a bit one too many gyrations for my taste. Okay, this is just small that I like. That's a small positive. But one of the characters, his name is Yash, and he's a terrible character. But his best friends, his two little cronies that he has, I love them so much because they only really show up every time he fails to flirt with a girl, and it's really some of the best cinema I've ever seen in my life.
Come on, baby, I'll drop you.
Alright, so we got the good stuff out of the way. Now let's talk about the bad stuff. Oh, God. So this is a horror movie, so obviously we're going to start talking about the kills. Wow, are these kills awful. Some of them happen off screen, there's no blood, there's just no really effort into it. Some are so impossible, and some are just so freaking hilarious. Like the car crash one. Oh man, that was awful. However, the best kill of the entire movie happens near the end. So like I said, they reunite years after, they originally killed one of their teachers. And so when they reunite, they're obviously snowed in at this lodge, at this hotel. It's snowing everywhere. They can't really escape. One of the main characters, he's being chased by the killer. So he just panics and starts running. I mean, it feels like he's like miles away from the lodge, from the hotel. He finally gets so tired, he just kneels, and then this happens. And just so you know, there's nothing supernatural about this killer in this movie. No, it's a normal character. So how that happens, I have no idea. I mean, that is some Friday the 13th type stuff right there, where you think you escaped and then Jason comes out of nowhere, but so poorly done, and I don't think I've laughed harder at a kill than that one right there. Okay, so we got the kills out of the way. Let me talk about the main character, Karan, played by Tushar Kapoor. If I could sum up Tushar Kapoor's performance in one word, it would be...
Why did you do this? Why?
It's just on the tip of my tongue.
Why, Dashu? Why? ये तुमने क्यों किया? Why?
It's so close. What is it? Why can't I think of it?
Why? Why?
I don't know. I can't think of it. He is nothing but an absolute horrible person to his best friend, Dashu, and he's like, I don't know why he's so awful to her. Like, at first it's like, oh, they kind of mess around with each other. No, it's a completely one-sided. Like, he just always makes fun of her. He's always, doing stuff to her. And I'm just like, why does she like the moron? It makes no sense to me. And obviously in this movie, because it's Bollywood, there's a love triangle going on between Tushar Kapoor's character and these two main girls, and that actually plays a factor in this movie. Another character that was so weird to me was Professor Bakshi. This is without a doubt the easiest paycheck Rishi Kapoor has ever gotten, because 99% of his scenes are just sitting there at the camera, just going like making these creepy stares at the rest of the characters. It's just so weird. And yes, in this movie he plays a deranged person who kills his wife, and for some reason he's allowed back in the school to teach children after he is a known convicted murderer. Why? My favorite scene with Professor Bakshi. Okay, so the first kill of this movie, by the way, is 40 minutes in. This is a 3-hour movie, and our first kill is not until about the 45-minute mark. And it comes with this random character that we don't care about. He is so adamant in getting these notes from Professor Bakshi. Seriously, count the amount of times this student says sir to Professor Bakshi.
Sir, 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 sir. Sir?
Dude, just come back the next day. Are the notes really that important? It's the night of the prom. Just get out of there, man. He ends up being chased, and then he somehow gets hung. I don't know how this kill is even remotely possible. Like, how does Professor Bakshi, a man in his 50s, able to make a machine like that, some kind of contraption like that? Makes no sense to me. Don't care about this character. In fact, nobody even cares about this character whatsoever. They kind of laugh off his death like, oh yeah, he was really stressed about those finals. No, that's not funny. Why did they decide to do that? Okay, so let's talk about the ending of this movie. So at the end, like I said, everybody's being picked off one by one, you know, everybody's dying, and so Karan is finally tracked down the killer, and it turns out that, oh, it's Professor Bakshi. He actually never died that night after all these years, and he's the one that's been killing all their friends. And so they're fighting, and then you hear another scream, and it turns out that there's actually a second killer. That's the big twist. And so Karan goes to his friend who's dying, and then he finds out that, oh my god, the girl he likes, Tanya, his original love, is actually the killer. What? What a twist. So then he goes to the mountains, you know, randomly in the mountains somewhere, and he finds Tanya, and he finds his other friend Tashu that he's actually engaged to. And then you find out that it's actually Tashu who's the killer. And you're just like, what? Like, it makes no sense whatsoever that they decided to do that kind of twist. I don't know why they went for that. And so, you know, she's so heartbroken because she's just, you know, she's obviously, you know, gone crazy. And she's like, oh, if I can't have you, you know what? I don't want to live in this world. And then she jumps off, and then he gets all upset. And you know how the movie ends? So Tushar Kapoor's character and Tanya sit in a plane, and they just naturally reconcile. Yeah, way to honor your dead friend's memory, because you were engaged to her and you felt so sad about it. So how do you repay her? Hey, by going back to your ex to end the movie. Yeah, Karan. Guys, this movie is not great. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, that I'm reviewing horrible Bollywood horror movies, because Bollywood's just never been great at horror. So why I decided to do this, I'll never know. But yeah, I'm going to give this movie an F. It's terrible. The songs are good, but other than that, it's not enough to save it. It's almost a so bad it's good territory, but no, not enough. I really don't want to watch this movie ever again. But yeah, it gets an F. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.